This is my Top Speed Pro 1 full Catback exhaust. As you can see, it's finally installed, and it's a three-piece design system which has stainless steel, and it has 4-inch exhaust tips with a 3-inch main piping and dual exit, dual muffler Catback exhaust. So let's go ahead and talk about that. It's time to unbox the Top Speed Pro 1 Catback exhaust for the MK7. Let's see what we have in here. Check it out. I don't want to remove everything because when I have it installed, you know, then the bubble wrap can be removed. So I'm not really going to take off the bubble wrap so much. I just want to show you guys that this is what's included inside the package that I got from UPS. And yeah, let's just see if we have all the parts available. All the clamps in here. So these are what the clamps look like, right? I believe there's 6 of them in here. So what do we have in here? These are probably the tips. Yep, tips. And this connection again. It looks like all the parts are here. That's why I took it out of the box, just to make sure I have all the parts. So basically there's 3 major parts right here. 1, 2, and 3. You know, rubber. And then of course the tips, which is like 4 inches here. 4-inch tips, which is pretty cool. So let me open this one so I can see what it's about. Right? This is pretty much all the pieces of the Top Speed Pro 1 Performance Catback exhaust for the MK7. Let's go see how this compares to the stock one. Let's go on the back. Let's check it out. So let's compare the Top Pro 1 with the stock one. Here's the stock one. It's about 2 inches, and then this one is 4 inches. Look how big that is compared to the boom. So yeah, obviously this one's gonna be looking way bigger than this one, right?
There's no going back and forth, right? You can't really maneuver this way, because when you do this clamp down, no matter what, how you're holding it, no matter what, it's just gonna follow this pipe.
Is it based on this?
Yeah, so that's another reason why we can't really do much with it. We are trying to bring it down a little bit more.
Yeah.
But those and this right here, if I push this up, it's gonna be hitting this. And even then, if I did push it up, it's gonna still be pivoting on these hangers, so it's just gonna be pointing down. They're not gonna be lower, you know? I was down here, I was holding it from both sides, and I was kind of pushing it back and forth to get it centered. So he said that they should look centered. You saw them. Did they look like they were centered in the holes?
It looked pretty centered, but I'll look again. But it looks pretty centered from what I could see. So this is one right here.
Yeah. So we did one clamp. Comes here. There's the hanger. This is the one that you didn't have. That was in that box.
This is the one that's in.
This is the one that I just used right now.
Okay.
Comes back. Here's another clamp right here.
Okay.
Then you come back here. Here's another hanger.
Okay.
Come back. Here's another clamp. And then this is that V-band clamp that connects your downpipe.
Is that the one from before?
No.
This
Oh
is
yeah,
the-
this is the
this is the
same
one from
V-band
before,
clamp.
right? Yeah.
But this is the different part right here. You see how this one goes down to 2.5 right here?
Yeah.
And then goes back out to 3-inch? Instead of going down to 2.5 and having
Just
this
one-
little choke point, it's
just one
just
piece,
all
right?
3-inch. So this is a 3-inch V-band clamp with 3-inch piping.
So it's a good thing I brought this one.
Yeah. This is 3-inch piping. There's no reason to keep it 3 if you're Ying out, because it would be, you know, double 3 inches. It's plenty.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. It's still tight. I mean.
Yeah, that's what I meant. It's still tight for sure. Does it look good?
Yeah, it looks good.
What are my impressions of it? Initially, I think it looks good. As you can see, I got the 4-inch tips, so it really stands out compared to my stock ones, which you could barely notice. But now with the big exhaust tips, you can definitely see that I have an aftermarket catback system on there. So visually speaking, it looks better. As far as the dual muffler, it's you have to kind of go underneath to check to see it, you know. I think it's comparable to like Beluga, which has the similar 3-piece design. It could be from the same manufacturer, I'm not sure, but they look very similar in terms of the size of the exhaust tips and the 3-inch, piping on it, as well as the welds and everything. They look very similar, so it's comparable to that. So it doesn't go straight back, you know what I mean? It kind of goes at an angle a little bit, so it doesn't just go straight back like this. Usually my mufflers, they go just straight back, but this one goes a little bit like at an angle, which is fine. I think some people like that style. I'm okay with it because obviously it stands out more. It's definitely louder, noticeably louder, but not obnoxious. My only thing is with the crackles, it doesn't sound as pronounced, with the crackles, because it's sort of mixed with the deep growl and the crackles together. Whereas when I had the stock exhaust and the downpipe, you could really hear the pops and burbles by itself, separately. Performance-wise, it's obviously better because now I have a 3-inch piping, right, which is the same size as my aftermarket downpipe, so there's less restriction on it. You don't really feel that much of a difference on the streets, but if you drive on the freeway, you'll probably feel it more, especially when you go higher speeds and stuff like that. But on the streets, you don't feel that much of a difference from the stock exhaust because I already have the aftermarket downpipe. My exhausts are normally $1,000 and up, even with the 86 or the Evo, even the MK6 and stuff like that. So now, by having this type of setup, which is less than $500, it's definitely a bargain. Even though this is a daily driver, I figured, maybe I could find something which is less expensive but still has some type of value and has some good features. And that's why I decided to test out the Top Speed Pro 1. See, I keep messing up every time I think about this name because it's so long. First I thought it was Top Pro 1 or Top Speed and then Top Speed Pro 1, so it's a little bit confusing. Apparently this company has been around since '96 and they've been importing aftermarket parts for cars for quite some time. So they're not necessarily a manufacturer of exhaust systems, and that's why I brought up the Beluga Catback, because I'm not sure if it comes from the same manufacturer, right? The thing that I like about having sort of a brand name, because they've been around for a while, is that they have that 1-year warranty. If there's anything defective with this exhaust, then you can switch it and get another one. They'll take care of it. Whereas if you just get like an eBay system with no name, maybe you're asked out. I don't know, right? So it's better to always have some kind of brand name, even though it's a budget setup, so to speak. I'm gonna go ahead and start it up so you guys can hear how this Top Speed Pro 1 sounds. But that's what it sounds like, you know, when I turn on the exhaust. It has a sort of a deeper tone to it, right? Better than stock, and it's not obnoxious. Now let's see how it sounds when I take it up for a spin. So that's the thing I don't like about, you know, aftermarket exhaust, is that when you replace it, sometimes you do get the droning. I got that with the 86 and even with the Evo, and so I mean, it's something you get used to, but when you're driving the freeway, it gets kind of annoying, right? Because it's loud inside the car. Well, watch. See if you could hear it as I drive. See? See? This is just on drive right now. I'm not even on sport mode, and it's already droning. So it is kind of loud. Yeah, there's definitely some droning in here with sport mode. I'm gonna try to do manual mode now and see, because it sounds different from the stock exhaust. It sounds like a little bit deeper, and I'm kind of not used to it. So we're gonna try to see how it is with the manual mode. I could barely hear myself when I'm talking now. So that's just the thing that you have to be concerned about when you're replacing your exhaust from stock to aftermarket. So yeah, the burbles are kind of like deeper burbles. So I don't know if you could still hear me, but there's really serious droning now, especially on third gear. You always get some type of droning. Even with my more expensive Catback systems, you still get a little bit of that droning. It doesn't go away. So if you don't like that droning, then just keep your stock exhaust. That's what I would say, right? Because you just can't help it. Yeah, it's less restrictive, but at the same time, it's not going to be as comfortable. You know, when you drive on the freeway at higher speeds, it's probably going to be a little bit louder too. Something that you just kind of get used to. Accident. Oh man, look at that. So apparently there's some kind of accident that happened here with the FRS. See, that's what happens when you drive too fast, right? That's why you got to slow down. And the only reason that I'm trying to turn it up here and there is because so I could show you guys how the muffler sounds, right? And just, you know, whether I'm trying out the stage 2 or something. But normally I don't really drive that fast. Yeah, so right now I'm gonna try to get the crackles going, right? So there's the snap, crackle, pop right there, right? Let's go see if we can hear some of it. So there it is. Maybe I just needed to warm up the car, because now I feel like the crackles come when I want it to. So I think I might have just needed to warm the car up a little. I'm gonna try to see if I could get it going again. See, you could hear it, right? Here we go. Let's try again. There it is, see? Snap, crackle, pop. definitely the burbles are back. I think I just needed to warm the car up a little bit, you know, but now we good. So we gotta get the burp right here. You just gotta warm the car up, and then every time you let go of the gas, that's when you get the burbles, right? So let's see. Let's hear the burbles right here. Whoa! Boom! Right there, burble it up. So it definitely has a deeper tone to it now. You just end up wasting a little more gas when you do the crackles, you know, but it's a little fun. That's all it is, really. It's not about performance, right? So, try to do a little more. See, now the burbles are loud. So, I mean, I'm already about to pull over here, so, but we'll see, you know? Yeah, you still hear the pops and bangs. Apparently, every time I try to do the burbles and crackles, I seem to get a smell back here because of unburnt gas. Especially, it's the smell is more because the exhaust is still new, but it really smells a lot, especially when I start doing a lot of the burbles on it. So pros and cons of the Top Speed Pro 1, I would say pros would be the way it looks. Obviously, you got the big old muffler tips right there. It just stands out, you can see it. And you know, the dual exhaust or the dual muffler also looks nice, even though you have to look underneath and you really have to kind of see, you know, bend down and look, but still it looks nice. The welds are decent. If you look at all the welds, it's lighter than the stock system, which is very heavy, you know, and it sounds better than stock, obviously, because it has a deeper tone, but without being too obnoxious. And obviously the price is definitely a plus for this because it's sub 500. And so those are the plus and the pros of having the Top Speed Pro 1. Now, as far as cons are concerned, I would say the droning is another issue that I don't like with this car, because when you're driving, you can't really hear yourself. Let me just show you some of the things that kind of might bug me a little. So, the thing that bugs me about a full bolt-on, right, is that these tips are also bolt-on. So you have these bolts right here. See, these nuts on both sides underneath. Boom, right? And those things just kind of bother me because I don't know. I like it nice and flush, you know. With the other exhausts that I have on my cars, I normally, those tips are just welded on there, rather than having it bolted in. So those bolts kind of bug me because I feel like, visually speaking, they don't look as flush. But I'm just being nitpicky, you know? Considering it's a budget system, maybe I'll live with it, you know what I mean? That's probably pretty much it, you know, just the bolts that kind of stick out, and the droning, I think, kind of bugs me a little, and then sometimes the crackles, the pops and burbles aren't as clear. When I was researching what type of budget Catback exhaust to put on the MK7, I couldn't really find much videos on YouTube as far as, you know, something cheaper to install. Maybe because everyone who does an MK7 probably wants to put something more, you know, something more expensive, something nicer, right? but I didn't really want to spend that much. In fact, initially I wasn't even thinking about putting an exhaust system. I was just gonna use my stock exhaust and call it a day because I already have a downpipe, right? And it sounds good. It's just recently that I figured maybe I should just complete the look, see what these budget systems are all about. And so that's why I'm trying out this Top Speed Pro 1, which I haven't really seen anything on YouTube at this time. Maybe they'll have some in the future, I don't know. Or maybe I just didn't look hard enough. But hopefully someone else who is interested in looking at a budget setup for the Mark 7 GTI will find some value in this little review that I make. It could be worth it for the right person. I'm not saying everyone is going to like it, or someone else may want to have something more expensive and high-end. I definitely put something more high-end for all my other cars, but this is a daily driver, you know? This is a car that I wasn't even going to change the exhaust in the first place. So in that type of situation where you're not quite sure what you want to install, or you want to just save money and you want to just have a decent setup, if you're okay with the droning, if you're okay with the bolts sticking out, then maybe you might want to consider this type of Catback exhaust system, because it looks better than stock. It's obviously less restrictive because it's 3 inches of piping instead of 2.5, and obviously it still sounds better overall, right? So if that's what you're looking for with a price of less than 500 bucks, then you know you could probably live with something like this Top Speed Pro 1 Catback exhaust system. So hopefully this has been helpful for you. Till next time, drive safe and keep on rolling.